I'm getting set for tonight's game against the Nets. Chene, you're our stats queen, right? Mm-hmm. I got a number for you. Tatum and Brown, they're averaging 58.1 points per game. That's on pace to be the second highest scoring duo in an NBA season since the NBA-ABA.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh. Well, you know who knows a little something about scoring? LeBron James. His New Year's resolution, I mean, it's just been right to put on a show. He's now currently 89 points behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the all-time NBA scoring leader. And how he's done it, I mean, that may even be more impressive because in 13 games in the month of January, he's averaged 33.8 points per game, his second highest scoring average in a calendar month in his entire career. And his two highest scoring months, they've come since turning 37 years old, which is just incredible, amazing. What has LeBron's performances recently, Jalen, told you about the Lakers season?
Don't sleep on the Lakers. And if you look at the top of the Western Conference, it's going to get a little shaky come playoff time.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we want to celebrate the teams that are finishing high right now, in particular like the Sacramento Kings. But if they're playing against the Lakers in the first round,
yeah,
I'm picking the Lakers. And LeBron's dominance, you talked about him having his highest points per month in his career. In his career? That is crazy. And so, again, I applaud the addition of Rudy Hachimura. He's going to give them scoring in the mid-range and also on the post. Anthony Davis, hopefully he can stay healthy. The Lakers are going to be a problem for a higher-seeded team in the West.
Yeah, particularly the way that we're seeing the standings shake out now, Chene.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was looking at, just to confirm that they are technically in the third worst position in the West. But the good news is that maybe 3 or 4 wins, you can go from worst to almost first in the category of the Lakers, meaning top 4, top 5. And I think what LeBron James has done over this stretch, where we're seeing his obviously second best scoring month, he's stabilized them. Without, Anthony Davis, he's really just made sure that they stay on point. He simplified the game for his teammates where he just takes over and they sort of just work around him. And then also the new acquisitions, they just started to up their game. So now you can see where initially we're like, maybe you'd be lucky to get in the play-in. Now I think they're firmly in the playoffs and you're saying they have a chance.
Are you as high on the Lakers as they are, Perk?
I am, because when you look at this group, and let me ask y'all a question. At this point in LeBron James' career, what is motivating him right now? What is motivating him, right? Like, his resume is longer than a Starbucks line. We know that. Okay, he has all the accolades. He has $1 billion. He's worth $1 billion. He's the true definition of being married to the game, right? Because after he breaks Kareem's record, what else is driving him to play besides trying to win championships? And so that's what makes the Lakers dangerous, because LeBron has come out time and time again this season saying that I'm not wasting my time basically playing losing basketball. I'm not here at this stage of my career to be playing losing basketball. That means he's trying to win. That means he's trying to win at the highest level, meaning bringing back championships or more championships to the Lakers.
And what's wild when you look at the West right now is just how tight those standings are, because when you look at the top, you see Denver, you see Memphis starting to run away with it a little bit, but then everything else, it gets jumbled incredibly quickly, which brings our attention to the Phoenix Suns, because as Adrian Wojnarowski reported earlier on SportsCenter, Devin Booker, he's targeting a return to their lineup next Tuesday when Phoenix is in Brooklyn to face the Nets. And Booker, he's missed 18 games since re-aggravating a groin strain on Christmas Day, so he can return at just the right time here, as the Suns have won 6 of the last 7 games. And remember when we were talking about the standings, let's take a look at exactly what we're talking about here, because when you look, the Lakers down there at 13, it's just not, there's not that much separation. There's not that much separation for these teams. And I know there's a lot of folks who are saying, all right, the window, maybe it is closed for the Phoenix Suns here. Do you think that that is true, Perk?
I'm doubling down on what the people are saying. Hell yeah, their window is closed. Like, it's too much friction going on in that locker room, and people don't want to talk about it, but the continuity is not there. Like, I watched DeAndre Ayton the 2 nights ago. He had, I believe it was, 19 points and 18 rebounds, and he looked horrible. He didn't look engaged. He didn't look like he wanted to be out there. The body language sucked. And it's too much back and forth. To me, it looked like they have too many cliques inside of their group. And that's not a good thing when you're trying to get back to reaching the finals or winning the championship. So I don't see the continuity being there. I think they are really missing Jay Crowder at the moment, because Jay Crowder actually was that guy that put that key in DeAndre Ayton back and kept the relationship close between him and Monty Williams.
But are you reserving maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm being too Chiney, glass half full here, but Matt Ishbia, Adrian Wojnarowski, and our Baxter Holmes reported that he's going to be working to take control right around the trade deadline. You have new blood coming in, new ownership coming in, maybe a different tone is sort of set from the top down, and then you have Devin Booker coming back.
Yeah, and I know I think it was Woj saying that he's rounding third, and I think Jalen, did we figure out that?
That's a good thing.
He said almost rounding third. I was like, that's baseball. He's almost at home plate. But speaking, I think it's important to note and give respect to Devin Booker's game. Averaging 27 this year, had an explosive start to the season. This is Devin Booker's team, period. I know Chris Paul has had moments and he's been great in the clutch. DeAndre Ayton took steps forward last year, and I know things are complicated in the locker room now. But everything seems all good when Devin Booker's on the floor. They feel like they can beat anybody. And in this landscape where, all right, I love the Grizzlies, I love the dark side Perk, but every time they take two steps forward, sometimes you see a couple losses that take a step back.
Or injuries.
Yeah, injuries, exactly. The Nuggets look great, but we're still waiting to see them actually get to the point where we can really put respect on their championship hopes. The window is still open for a lot of teams. They're going to be championship-like type of team, but they can reclaim the season and at least make something positive, because when Devin Booker comes back, they're going to, I think the tone will change. You don't agree with me?
No, because I'm saying, you saying reclaim the season. What's Chris Paul's purpose of playing with Phoenix? It's to win the championship.
They've won 6 of 7 without Devin Booker. I mean, when we're looking recently, and I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but
I just feel like it's someone else's turn. And so when I watch Denver, when I watch Memphis, it seems like, as you mentioned, they're separating themselves from the pack. And when we look further at the standings, of course we're going to respect the people that we've saw do it. The Warriors and the Clippers and LeBron and the Lakers, they've had their chances. I believe it's just somebody else's turn. Phoenix falls into that for me. They don't have the depth and the productivity they used to have. They're really going to miss Jay Crowder. And to be honest, I think both sides handled that wrong. If I'm going to bring you off the bench and you don't want to come off the bench, I'm not sending you home and paying you.
Talk about it.
I'm not going to be able to do it. And so for them not to get his productivity when they need his productivity, and then he's going to end up maybe with the Bucks or the Heat on a contending team,
Right.
That don't sound like a team that's ready to win the West.
And have we seen that before? Oh, yeah, P.J. Tucker. He was up there on a team that went all the way to the finals, didn't go well, ended up on the Milwaukee Bucks. And how did that story end?
You're not slick. Are you going to do it? Not going to be able to do it. You said it all properly.
Not going to be able to do it.
Well, regardless, as
Thank you,
Chiney
sis.
said, Devin
Yes,
Booker, he
indeed.
tweeted he is rounding third, and Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that he could be back as soon as Tuesday. We're going to keep working on our baseball analogies in the break. We're counting you down to tip off between the Nets and the Celtics. That's the first game of our doubleheader, and then we will see the Suns in action against the Atlanta Hawks. We have more coming up.
NBA Countdown, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Welcome to our NBA studios here in Los Angeles alongside Kendrick Perkins, Chiney Ogwumike, and Jalen Rose. I'm Malika Andrews. It's time for our opening tip because Kyrie Irving, he's embraced his role with the Nets in the top of the East while Kevin Durant recovers from his MCL sprain. Kyrie has led Brooklyn with 29.3 points per game since Durant's departure, as the Nets are holding at 4th in the East right now. And Kyrie, he's averaging 9.5 points in the 4th quarter this season, on pace to be the 4th highest 4th quarter scoring average over the last 25 seasons. He's dropped 20 points in the 4th quarter 4 times this year. That's tied for the most by any player over that same span. And when I talked to him about it last week, he said, you know what? This is when I just know it's winning time. This is when Kyrie does what he does. So Jalen Rose, what has impressed you most about Kyrie here?
When I watch Kyrie and Steph Curry, to be honest, sometimes it's reminiscent of what it would look like if the Harlem Globetrotters were actually playing in the league. Like, he's dazzling as a performer. It's smooth, it's effective. He could do it from 3, he could do it from the wing, he could do it from the post, half court, full court. But the thing I like that he's recently done, it's all about basketball. And I think that's what it's gonna be tonight. Before he was lighting the sage, before he was throwing the middle fingers. Now KD's out, he's embracing his leadership role. He's putting up big time numbers, and he's putting the Nets now in position to be a legit contender, but also putting himself in position to get a long-term deal, which his talent deserves.
Sort of a renewed sense of focus there, Perk.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that Kyrie Irving is box office. We know he can score with the best of them. Hell, he's one of the best scorers to ever touch the basketball, in my opinion, or most skilled, shall I say. The thing is his leadership. Like, I'm watching him lead. I watched the last game against the New York Knicks when he first, second, and third quarter, he was dishing out the rock, getting everybody involved. And then in the fourth quarter, when it was time to show why he get paid the big bucks and why franchise players take over, he took over the game. I'm also watching him be encouraging. I'm watching him put that key, or what we call it, in Nick Claxton back and say, go ahead, big fella, I trust you. Steph Curry, be the best version of yourself. Like, playing off the ball at times, letting Jock Vaughn coach. Like, that is leadership.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to see. Remember, Kyrie Irving was the #1 pick. We just been waiting to see if he could do it.
Right. Not to mention he's averaging 34.9 points over his last 7 games. Have you seen a shift, Chiney, in Kyrie in the absence of KD?
Yeah, let's talk about X factors. Can I go to the big board and break it down?
Let's do it, sis.
Always.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Teach
do this.
us.